Thailand versus Bali. Where is it more profitable to buy property in 2026? If you are considering property investment in Asia, there are probably two destinations already on your shortlist: Thailand and Bali. Both markets are heavily promoted to international investors. In Bali, you often see projected double-digit returns. In Phuket, investors are attracted by established developers, branded residences, and a more mature real estate market. But where does it actually make more sense to buy property in 2026? Today, we will compare Phuket and Bali from four perspectives: current market dynamics, rental and investment potential, ownership structure and legal considerations, and finally, quality of life. And at the end of the video, I will show you several actual property examples currently available on both markets. Let us start with Phuket. The Phuket property market is currently going through an interesting transition. According to Knight Frank Thailand, 631 villas were sold in Phuket in 2025. That was 12.9% more than the year before. At the same time, the condominium market became more selective. Around 4,455 condominium units were sold, while overall condominium sales declined by approximately 24.8%. Another important factor is new supply. Developers significantly reduced the number of new projects entering the market. New condominium launches fell by approximately 52%, while new villa supply declined by around 48%. What does this mean for an investor? Phuket is moving away from a phase of aggressive market expansion towards a more competitive and mature market. Here, the quality of the location, developer and product becomes increasingly important. One of the strongest areas continues to be Phuket's west coast. For example, Bang Tao accounted for almost one-third of all new condominium sales on the island in 2025. In the villa segment, Cheng Talai also remains one of the leading locations. Now let us look at the rental market. According to AirDNA data from July 2026, Phuket has approximately 29,700 active short-term rental properties. Average occupancy is around 56%, while the average daily rate is approximately $188. Average annual revenue per listing over the previous 12 months was around $14,000. At the same time, the number of active rental listings increased by approximately 16.8% year-on-year, and this is a very important point. Demand remains strong, but competition between rental properties is also increasing. So today, simply buying an apartment in Phuket and putting it on Airbnb is not necessarily enough. Properties with strong infrastructure, walking distance to the beach, professional management, a recognized brand, or a strong resort concept tend to have a much better competitive position. Now let us look at Bali. At first glance, the numbers look even more impressive. In 2025, Bali welcomed almost 6.95 million international visitors. That was approximately 9.7% more than in the previous year, and tourism continued to grow in 2026. In May alone, Bali received more than 578,000 international visitors. But here we see an interesting paradox. The number of tourists is increasing, while average short-term rental performance has been under pressure. According to AirDNA data from July 2026, Bali already has approximately 86,500 active short-term rental listings. That is almost 3 times more than Phuket. Average occupancy is around 47%, while the average daily rate is approximately $144. Over the previous 12 months, average revenue per property declined by more than 12%. Average daily rates also fell by almost 12%, while RevPAR, revenue per available rental night, dropped by almost 15%. So Bali's main challenge today is not a lack of tourism, it is the enormous amount of new rental supply entering the market. Colliers has highlighted the same issue, noting that rapid villa development is creating stronger competition for tourists, while the island's infrastructure is facing increasing pressure. This is why I would be very careful with investment presentations promising 12, 15, or even 20% annual returns for virtually every new villa project in Bali. On this market, even a few hundred meters can make a major difference. The view, road access, surrounding infrastructure, management company, architectural concept, interior design, and even how photogenic the property is can directly affect rental performance. So which market has better investment potential? There is no single winner. I would describe Phuket as the more conservative investment market. It is more mature. There is a wider selection of established developers, branded residences, and integrated resort communities. The areas I would currently pay particular attention to include Bang Tao, Laguna, Chering Talai, and Layan. Another advantage is the condominium ownership structure. Foreign buyers can own condominium units under a freehold structure as long as the foreign ownership quota in the condominium does not exceed 49%. Villas and land are more complicated because foreigners generally cannot directly own land in Thailand. So with villa purchases, the legal structure of the particular transaction has to be reviewed carefully. Bali, on the other hand, is a more entrepreneurial investment. You can still find very interesting properties with lower entry prices and potentially strong returns. But when you buy an investment villa in Bali, you are effectively investing not only in real estate, you are investing in a small hospitality business. Location, marketing, management, and occupancy strategy all matter. The legal side also requires more attention. Investors need to understand whether the property is leasehold or structured differently, how long the lease lasts, what extension terms are available, whether the lease can be transferred or resold, what the zoning is, and whether all relevant construction and operating permits are in place. So if your priority is capital preservation, resale liquidity, and relatively low operational involvement, I would generally lean towards Phuket. If you are willing to accept more risk in exchange for potentially higher returns, and you are prepared to carefully analyze the project and management company, Bali can offer very interesting opportunities. What about actually living there? This is where the comparison becomes much more personal. In my view, Phuket is generally easier for permanent family living. You have international schools, private hospitals, supermarkets, restaurants, beach clubs, sports facilities, marinas, golf, and a large international community. Areas such as Bang Tao, Laguna, and Chering Talai already offer an established ecosystem where you can live relatively comfortably year-round. Bali offers a completely different lifestyle. Canggu and Berawa are focused around restaurants, international communities, networking, and an active social environment. Uluwatu is more about the ocean, surfing, villas, and a slower lifestyle. Ubud is associated more with wellness, nature, and a quieter environment. But Bali's popularity also has a downside. Traffic has become a serious issue in many popular areas, while infrastructure is struggling to keep up with the pace of development. So for spending several months a year in Asia, running a remote business, or enjoying a very active lifestyle, Bali can be extremely attractive. For permanent family living, especially with children, I would personally give Phuket an advantage. Now let us look at some actual property examples, starting with Phuket. In the premium segment, one developer worth looking at is Laguna Phuket by Banyan Group. One example is Belaguna Golf Residences. The project includes 1, 2, and 3-bedroom residences, starting from approximately 55 square meters, as well as larger penthouses. One of the biggest advantages here is not simply the apartment itself. You are buying into the whole Laguna Phuket ecosystem with professional management, resort infrastructure, golf, restaurants, beaches, and an established international brand. This is not necessarily the type of investment where you chase the highest possible short-term rental yield. The investment thesis is more about location, brand recognition, liquidity, and long-term value preservation. Another strong Phuket developer is Botanica. For example, the Verdant by Botanica in the Pru Jampa area offers private villas currently priced at approximately 16.6 to 19 million Thai baht. For those who prefer Chering Talai and the condominium format, Botanica also has Hive, with prices starting from approximately 10.8 million baht. For a lower entry budget, you can look at the title. The developer has several projects in Phuket, including developments around Bang Tao and other resort locations. Examples include Modeva, Artrio, Heritage, and Sierra. Another developer worth considering is TH Group, with projects such as Sunshine Beach and Ayana. What about Bali? Here, the entry budget can be significantly more flexible. For example, HQC, High Quality Construction, has projects such as Satori Nusa Dua Resort, with units marketed from around $119,000. Another example is Ardana Residence, where entry prices have been advertised from approximately $94,000. Then there is Loyo and Bondar. One example is Pandawa Dream, where villas of approximately 76 to 87 square meters have been marketed from around $188,000. But this is exactly where due diligence becomes extremely important. Before reserving a Bali property, I would always verify the title and lease structure, zoning, construction permits, and the complete legal documentation for the specific project and development phase. Another interesting format is Fiends Bali Resort by Mira in Berawa. The starting price has been advertised at approximately 2.75 billion Indonesian rupiah. This is a different investment model. Instead of buying a conventional private villa, you are buying into a hospitality-oriented product connected to an established lifestyle ecosystem. And another developer worth watching is Livin, which has boutique projects in areas including Uluwatu, Melasti, and Bingin. They offer both apartments and villas. Their projects are also a good example of why investors need to understand the ownership structure in Bali, because properties may be offered through long-term lease or sublease structures rather than traditional freehold ownership. So, what is the final conclusion? If your main goal is a more conservative investment, capital preservation, stronger resale potential, and the possibility of using the property yourself, I would currently give Phuket the advantage in 2026. If your priority is potentially higher rental returns, a lower entry budget, and you are comfortable with greater operational and legal risk, Bali can be the more interesting option. But the most important principle applies to both markets. Don't invest in a country, invest in a specific property. A strong project in Bali can significantly outperform a weak project in Phuket. And a professionally managed property in one of Phuket's strongest locations can outperform a Bali villa that looked extremely attractive only in the developer's financial model. So the real question is not simply Thailand or Bali. The real question is which location, developer, ownership structure, and property strategy fit your goals. If you would like to compare specific properties in Thailand and Bali based on your budget and investment strategy, contact our team. We can shortlist suitable options and calculate the investment economics of each property before you make a decision.